What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is IcedSkye, and as you see in the top right, I have accumulated 1,000 gold. So today's video is going to be a little bit on the shorter side. It's going to be a keg opening. Now, 1,000 gold can get us a lot as well as the amount that we've been playing. We also have 380 scraps. So I'm hoping to add about 3 to 4 new cards to our deck to showcase in a later video, as I haven't done one of these keg openings before. I've been kind of holding onto my gold. I've only really gotten the kegs that I've gotten from leveling up. So the deck that I'm still running is constantly being improved every single episode. And eventually, in maybe a couple of days, it'll be completely optimized. I can move on to a new archetype and start building that deck up and start up a new series of that deck. So we're going to go ahead, purchase our 10 kegs. That'll give us a pretty substantial amount of cards. It'll give us 50 cards, enough to scrap down, again, get like 4 or 5 new cards in our deck. And with the first opening, we only get 1 monster card. It's a Necker, so that's just going to be another one that we scrap down. Nothing that we're really looking forward to. The Hawker Smuggler might be good because I do want to do a Mahakan Defender deck. So again, we're going to go ahead and get the Blue Mountain Commando, because I'm pretty sure as far as like top tier decks go, the decks that I really want to start building are the Clan on Crate deck and the Mahakan Defender deck. I don't really care about this kind of reveal deck, which, you know, the Black Infantry, Arbalist, and all that gives. We're mainly looking for monsters and the Mahakans to fit in our next deck archetypes. So next keg, this is going to be our 3rd keg. We're kind of just rolling right through. And we get 2 monster cards. One of them is another duplicate. We could just get rid of that. And a Fiend. I don't really care too much about the Fiend. That doesn't really fit into any current deck that I have. And I don't really have any interest in these. This one would actually be solid enough for a Defender deck. We add it to a Defender and just play it throughout the game. That's going to be a permanent increase in stats. So that's good. That's 1 less card that I have to craft for that specific deck when I do decide to make it. We have 7 kegs left. Once again, no monster cards. None of these really pique my interest except, oh, okay, there is the Mahakan Defender. So that's 1 less card. As you see, we already have 3 Akamaras because of the current monster deck that we're running. So this is just going to be 1 less card that I have to craft moving forward. So we're getting some pretty solid enough cards, I think. Nothing too crazy yet. I'm hoping for maybe a class card. These 2 are pretty good. Neutral cards, as far as neutral cards go, I don't have any interest in either of these. Let's see what we get as our special card. Another Mahakan Defender. That's nice. So we're only missing 1 now for that deck. It's getting closer and closer. We can almost create that deck. I didn't think we would actually get as many Mahakan Defenders as we're getting. We only get 1 monster. It's an Ancient Foglet. Ooh. John Nautilus. Add 3 strength to 3 non-gold units on your side of the battlefield. That's pretty good. It is a gold card, so it's only a one-off, but that's actually not a bad card at all. Let's see what we get for our special card as our 5th. Nothing, just 1 neutral and then 2 weaker class cards. I think Epidemic is going to be the one to go here. I'm not running either of these 2 decks, or like these 2 deck types. So yeah, Academic's going to be the way to go. Next keg, we have 4 left. Do we get anything? Again, no monster cards, 2 neutrals, a Lacerate, and a Blizzard Potion. And not really any interest in those either. A Clan on Crate, I did say that I want to build a clan deck eventually. It's focused mainly on like resurrecting. Let's see, what is this? Reinforcement. Play all instances from your deck of a bronze unit on your side of the battlefield. That's not too bad. I don't really have any interest in the Spotter because I'm not really going to be building a reveal deck. So whichever one we get, we're basically just gonna throw away. Probably just pick up reinforcement. It is the silver. That'll give us free scrap. We have 380, 3 kegs left, and 2 monster cards. What do we get? A Wild Hunt Warrior and a Vran. So nothing wild for our monster cards. We do get another clan card. So we're actually getting a lot more cards for the decks that I want that I thought I would get. Earth Elemental. Ooh. A Wild Boar of the Sea. Immune to weather. When on a row affected by weather at the start of your turn, create a clan Immune Pirate on the bottom of your deck. I don't have any interest in Francesca, and I already own her, so that would be a waste. I don't really have any interest in the Elemental monster decks. I don't think it has enough follow-up, and it's just a little bit too slow. So this is going to fit well in our clan deck, the Wild Boar of the Sea. That's a pretty nice pull. That's 1 less gold card that we have to craft. We have 2 kegs left. And let's see what we get out of these 2 kegs. We get 1 monster card, another Foglet, pretty disappointing, First Light, and Elven Mercenary. This one's pretty good because it is a non-gold special card. So that can be silver, that can be your instance cards. All of these are pretty lackluster. Savage Bear is alright, but I don't think any of these are really going to be put into any of my decks anytime soon. Open next keg. I believe this is our last keg. Again, really no monster cards. We got a bunch of Elven cards, a bunch of clan cards, which is good because those are the decks that I want to create. I would like to make a Wild Hunt monster deck soon, but I don't have enough Wild Hunt cards yet. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up the clan. That'll really round off our clan deck. So after going through and creating and crafting a couple of additional cards, I have a couple of placeholder cards. Now from my last deck update, I had 2 Foglets in the deck as well as a Cleaver. I took out the Cleaver, added a Demetrium Bomb, and the main reason for adding Demetrium Bomb is I see a lot of people using Commander's Horn. I see a lot of people with the Mahakam Defender decks. It's hard to counter that with just a Alzor's Thunder. And Demetrium Bomb is basically a better cleaver. If I want an effect to not activate because of, like, let's say the Mahakam Defender, I don't want it to last past the first round, well, what I can do is just, instead of canceling the Mahakam Defender's effect, I can let my opponent buff up the Mahakam Defender to 30, 40 attack, and then Demetrium Bomb, bring it back down to 4 attack, and it completely cancels it out without me having to use my Dagon Weather effect. So the next card that I added, I took out the second Foglet, and I added an Arrakis Behemoth. It spawns an Arrakis whenever a monster unit on your side absorbs strength, and this deck has a lot of absorbing strength with the Ekamaras, with the Katakin, with the Vran Warrior. So Arrakis Behemoth is going to be a good placeholder until I get my 4 other gold cards. Now, the 4 gold cards that I want to get, I'm going to take out Arrakis Behemoth in the final build. I'm going to be taking out Woodland Spirit in the final build, and I'm going to be taking out Geralt in the final build. And they're all basically 800 to craft, so it's going to take a couple of days. It's going to take a little bit of playing to actually work myself up to get them. But the cards that I want to put in my final build are Avalak, which is you draw 2 cards, the opposing player draws 1 card. This is really good. It's just a straight up 8 attack, and what the monster deck is great at, what I've been noticing it's great at, is keeping the card advantage throughout the match. So this just furthers that. Instead of being 1 card ahead, instead of being 2 cards ahead, you might be 3 cards ahead because of this specific card. The other one is going to be Caretaker. It resurrects a non-gold, non-permadeath unit from the opposing graveyard, and you could potentially get a 10 attack, 11 attack card on your side of the battlefield for completely free. It's just you straight up stealing whatever is in their graveyard, and also its effect. When its effect comes onto the board, you do also steal that effect. So if it's something like, let me go over to the Skoyatel side, So if it's something like the Hawker Healer that's in their opponent's deck, for example, then you add 3 strike to all other non-gold units on the row. So you could play this, steal the Hawker Healer, gain its effect, and instead of it being a 6 attack card with a 2 attack card that you're stealing, you could potentially steal up to about 30 attack worth of minion. So it's really just, I'm not going to say it's an overpowered card, but it is an incredibly, incredibly strong card. Caretaker is one to get. And the last card that I want to get is Chiron. Chiron destroys 3 non-gold units on your side and absorbs their strength as its base. So what that means is if somebody plays Demetrium Bomb, this does not go back to 8 attack. This stays at 50 attack, 60 attack, 40 attack, whatever it goes up to, it stays as that. And there's nothing that they could do about it because there's really nothing that targets gold creatures in the game yet. So this is going to be the card that's going to be carrying us to rank 15. So I'm going to be doing a deck guide tomorrow. If you want to see that, subscribe. This has been IcedSkye, and I will see you guys later.